remember when Mario movie hit historic records for animated movie. I think Disney should be scared of these numbers. So Spider-Verse is coming out and has made $13.35 million already in the previews. I don't know how well the original did in previews, but definitely did not make 17 million. But the first one made 3 million in Thursday previews, ended up making around 35 million. There's a possibility this movie opens to 150 to 170 million dollars because of these previews. It all depends on the Friday sales, how well it does on Friday. But this movie's gonna probably make more than The Little Mermaid. They don't have any numbers predicted here. For some reason. I really do not know why. Okay. Deadline, I don't think Deadline has any numbers because they're comparing this to Incredibles too. Okay. Update after Thursday exclusive. Okay. Little Mermaid, got 6.8 million. Its week at 145 million. Unfortunately, $145 million from dumb people who still continue to watch the city ass Disney remakes that just people are just dumb. The Disney remakes, okay. But this movie has made 1.17.45 million. Surprisingly, they don't have any predictions for the weekend yet. Yeah, does this say have any predictions for the weekend? No, they don't. They don't have any predictions. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, the reason why the UK made box office lagged is because of the Little Mermaid remake. It's because no one wants to see it. Also, Mario passed Frozen globally. Okay. Disney got another movie destroyed by Mario. There is a possibility that Spider-Verse might make $1 billion. There is a possibility this movie makes $1 billion. Imagine if it does. Okay, imagine if it does make $1 billion and it's massively overperforming. Okay, $17 million preview is not an $80 to $90 million opening. Okay, it is not an $80 to $90 million opening. Again, these so-called projections were wrong. Box Office Pro, $17 million in preview. Okay. It would earn around. So, Across the Spider-Verse's opening weekend figure, Lion King opened to $191 million, and Incredibles 2 opened to $182 million opening weekend. Okay. So, if it has the same as The Incredibles, it will make $131 million. If it has the same as the Lion King remake, because it's a pile of garbage, it would earn around. So, this movie's going to open over $100 million. Guaranteed. This movie opens over $100 million. $150 million even. Okay. I think this movie would open over $100 million. And I was correct. Okay. But if it does No Way Home, yes. This would be, the correct opening if it performs like No Way Home. Okay. But we're open to similar previews, similar to animated movies typically do. Because animated movies typically have lower preview numbers than most movies usually do. Okay. They typically have lower numbers compared to other movies. Okay. For example, the Mario movie. Okay, we use Minions. I don't think Mario had previews. Okay, Minions as a group opened to 10.75 million. Minions as a group opened to around 100 million opening. Okay, which was expected to open to 60 to 75 million. Let's remember that. Total. Okay. It was expected to be the worst opening in the series since Despicable Me, but Minions as a group opened to over 120 million as well. And Spider-Verse is doing better than that. Okay. Spider-Verse is doing better than that. Okay, I don't think Puss in Boots and Mario had Thursday previews. They just launched them early. Okay. But we have Mario now. Nearly, it's gonna pass 1.3 billion. Okay. That is almost guaranteed. But we have the daily box of Mario opened with 31 million. There was no previews for Mario. Okay. No preview numbers. This 41 million was massive. And ended up making 204 million. Which was huge. Okay. Then we have Puss in Boots. The problem with comparing animated movies is there's so few examples of post-pandemic animated movies, because you have the you have inflation to factor in. You have to factor in the pandemic, how movies have been performing since then, which is why people are like, oh, you just compare The Little Mermaid to Aladdin, okay? But Aladdin came out before the pandemic, okay? Yes, it came out in 2019, but inflation and the pandemic made people more wary about movies, okay? Puss in Boots: The Last Wish opened to a mere 3.2 million. Okay, of course that movie didn't have Thursday previews. They just released it as well. Okay. But we can look at the Little Mermaid's box office, and this movie is gonna be screwed. If Spider-Verse really is overperforming as it is. If it really is gonna open to 150 to 160 million dollars. Okay. This movie is screwed. Okay. People say, but The Little Mermaid and Spider-Verse have two separate audiences. Okay, and that is true. They do have two separate audiences. Okay, men and little boys are gonna overwhelm, and little boys and little kids, male kids, overwhelmingly are going to see Spider-Verse. Meanwhile, little girls are gonna want to see The Little Mermaid, because of course Spider-Man is a male figure. Okay, they said that overwhelmingly the people who are going to see Spider-Verse are going to be males. You'll have the comic book, you have the Spider-Man fans going to see the movie. Okay, the older people who are going to go see the movie because they like Spider-Man, because they like the characters of Spider-Verse, and you'll have kids who are going to be seeing Spider-Verse as well. Same thing of No Way Home, as well, and the first Spider-Verse. Okay, but you can compare Little Mermaid to Aladdin. Okay, but the problem is inflation. Little Mermaid is losing to Aladdin. Okay, losing. Okay, Little Mermaid is not going to make $405 million domestically. It is not going to make $778 million internationally. There is no way this movie is going to make that much money. We can also add in the Mario movie as a much more better comparison. Okay, at this point, the Mario movie made $250 million domestically. Okay, at this point, the Mario movie made $250 million domestically. Of course, if you exclude the first 2 days, it's actually $224 million to $140 million. But Mario movie went on to make $1 billion. But Little Mermaid is behind nearly by $100 million domestically, even. Okay, Mario movie was defeating Little Mermaid in the weekdays. Okay. But we can also add in Quantumania. Okay, this movie is beating Quantumania domestically. Okay, this movie is going to beat Quantumania domestically. Quantumania did so poorly. Okay, this movie isn't doing Quantumania numbers. It did similar opening-wise, but Quantumania had a massive drop-off. Okay, Quantumania had a massive drop-off. Little Mermaid might just have a 50 to 60% drop-off like these movies usually do, but Spider-Verse is really overperforming that greatly. Here we have Spider-Verse. Okay, the average score on IMDb for Spider-Verse that it isn't rigged is 9.1 out of 10. Okay, because people just love Spider-Verse. The first movie has an average score of 8.4. The first movie as well. I don't think there's any scores on Metacritic. But on Metacritic, the average score is 8.9. Okay, for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, this is probably good, and maybe the Oscars should put this in the Best Picture running. They probably won't because, of course, the Oscars they're a bunch of old people. The old people don't like animation. Okay, they don't appreciate it. It's it's typical among older people. They don't like animation. They disrespect it all the time, which is sad. Okay, they disrespect animated movies all the time. Which is fun, which is sad and kind of funny because they don't like animated movies because they have been indoctrinated the whole life to see animated sin is for kids. Okay, but we can look at the Letterboxd scores for Spider-Verse as well, and unlike that's Into the Spider-Verse. No, wrong movie. It is at a 4.7 average score. Okay, 4.7 average score, which means the Little Mermaid is going to be destroyed. Okay, you really think the Little Mermaid is going to have a good second weekend? Okay, people likely rate this as one of the best movies of the year, along with John Wick 4 and the Mario movie. Okay, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, obviously. I forgot about that movie. But those 4 movies are going to be ranked as the best movies, at least so far this year. There's still more movies coming out, but those 4 movies will probably be in the top 10 movies of the year by people. Not the critics, okay? The critics are going to give a bunch of no-name movies, of the year. They're going to always rank the no-name movies first because, that's how they are. Okay? The Oscar bait movies. Okay? But Spider-Verse is going to probably make $1 billion. I wouldn't be too surprised by this opening. Okay? As well. This is going to probably make $1 billion. Okay? Based off the opening. If it performs like Incredibles 2 and the Lion King remake, which means Disney is going to be losing not just to Mario, but to Spider-Man, which will be pretty funny to see. Okay? And it's funny, Disney keeps pushing for representation like in The Little Mermaid, but they're being destroyed by a movie, well, one of the main characters is really a black Spider-Man. So, you're being destroyed by Spider-Man, Disney. Okay? Again, both movies are way better than the Little Mermaid remake. Okay? Both movies, okay, Sony does not need to rig the scores to give Spider-Verse a good score, because people know this movie was going to be good. Fans of the first movie knew, because they like the animation style, they like the characters, they like the storyline of these movies. Okay, this movie has been praised for the score, the animation, the story. Okay, visually astonishing, emotionally powerful, narrative propulsive. It's another masterpiece. It's funny, heartfelt, and infinitely rewatchable action comedy that ranks among the best of superhero movies. And people will say that superhero movies are dying. Oh wait, Spider-Verse is going to open to $150 million. Most likely, $140 to $150 million. It might still open in line of $90 million. And we'll wait to see how the Friday numbers are. Okay? But if it performs like animated movies typically do, okay, this movie is going to open to $140 to $150 to $160 million. Heck, even $180 million is not out of the question for Spider-Verse. I said that Mario movie was going to probably make a lot of money. I said, Mario's going to make $1 billion because people want to see good movies. Okay? Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had good ratings because it was a good movie. Okay? People don't want to see mid-sit on the screen. Okay? It's just that simple. Okay? And the mid-sit is being made by Disney. Okay? Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will probably pass $800 million, which is in line with Guardians of the Galaxy as a franchise. Okay? But stuff like Mario. Okay? Mario making $1.3 billion. Guardians of the Galaxy making near $1 billion. Okay, it's the only reason why it didn't make $1 billion because it underperformed on its first weekend. Okay. Fast X again. Again, this movie. Fast X. Fast X is. I think Fast and the Furious as a franchise is done. Okay, John Wick 4 did the best in the John Wick franchise. Creed was one of the highest selling in the Creed series. Scream 7 6 did really well for that series. Okay, so people do want to see movies. It's just still contained with the fandoms like Creed and John Wick. Okay, Creed, the third movie in the franchise, because it is not really a good comparison to compare it to the original Rockies. Okay, yeah, Creed 3 did way better. Did if you do it with inflation, did better than the first and second Creed movies globally. Okay, globally. Okay, Creed as a series has grown by movie. You can't really compare it to Rocky because Creed is really its own thing at this point. Same, it is, part of the Rocky franchise, obviously, but it's kind of its own thing at this point. And then we have John Wick, okay? And we can compare it to the John Wick. We'll be doing a franchise comparison, okay? And yes, John Wick 3 actually did better than John Wick 4, mostly because John Wick 4 is longer. But even with the Justin for inflation, John Wick 4 still made more money than John Wick Chapter 3. Okay? John Wick Chapter 3 made way less money than John Wick Chapter 4. Since it's another franchise that's always grown, we can look at Scream. Okay, the first thing with Scream is I don't think he can do it Justin for inflation. Scream 6 is the highest selling in the series, but he can't really do Oh wait, there's 6 entries in the series. Okay, we could do a franchise comparison for Scream as well. Okay, compare it to the last movie, Scream 2022, Scream 3, and Scream 4. Those are the best comparisons. Okay, and yeah, something like Scream 3 made way more money because it's an old movie. Okay, so let's not include Scream 3. Let's just include with the last entries in the series. And Scream 6 still beats Scream and Scream 4. Okay, again, we can just compare it to Scream and Scream 6 and Scream. Okay, because, yeah, this is a growth. It's not as bad as the first movies, couple movies back in the 90s and 2000s, but still doing better than the past couple entries. Okay, The Little Mermaid is doing worse than Aladdin. Okay, which means if you talk about the Disney remakes, it's a decline. Fast X is a decline. Guardians of the Galaxy is doing in line with the first two movies. Okay, it is doing in line with the first and second movies. You have Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 actually made that much money? That's surprising. But it is doing in line with the other movies as well. It's doing in line with the series. If it doesn't for a phrase, it is the worst selling in the series. But it is supposed to be the last movie in the series as well. It is still going to make a lot of money. Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made $1 billion adjusted for inflation. So yes, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, adjusted for inflation, is $1 billion film. Okay. Adjusted for inflation, it's $1 billion film. Okay. If Guardians of the Galaxy 2 released today, it would have been $1 billion movie. Okay. But yep, that is basically about this video here. Goodbye.